These are the 19th World Croquet Federation Association Croquet World Championships. This is day number 5, and it's in a way the tournament starts here. It's the first round of the knockout. It's best of 3 matches today. At some point it'll become best of 5. So if you were watching before lunch, there were 2 matches on court 6. Robert Fulford beat Ewan Burridge 2-0. And we're now watching Ben Rothman. He's playing the pink ball. He's playing against Greg Hill of Australia. And Greg built up a big lead in the first game, but Ben Rothman did a triple peel to win that +5 TP. This is now the second game. They've resumed after lunch, and Ben has managed to pick his break up. And as you can probably see, it's a standard triple in front of him. So for any new listeners, this is going to be a good illustration of what a standard triple peel is. So I should say, in this country they call it an on-time TP, but so the green and brown clips are, I think, both on 1. Sorry we haven't got the scoreboard up, but we thought we'd resume service. So green and brown for 1 and 1. White is now for 4 back. You can see on your shot the little white clip on the side of the hoop. That means he's for 4 back. And he's just run hoop 3 with pink. So now he's taking croquet from white with pink, and the idea is in this stroke to propel white through 4 back, and that's known as a peel. And he's got the idea of this turn is to peel white through the last 3 hoops and then peg out, and that's known as a triple peel. And it's sort of the coming of age of a croquet player when you do your first triple. I think we all remember it. I was only reminiscing the other day. I think mine was in 1987, and I've forgotten where it was. It was it'd be a good croquet trivia quiz question, because the tournament was based at Colchester, but we found a vicarage garden somewhere which had a decent lawn in it, and so I think it was somewhere in Suffolk. Anyway, as you see, you have to line this up very precisely. Different people line it up in different ways. You look along the centres or the edges, or... Now, what he's got to decide now, so he's putting his mallet where he wants pink to be after this shot, because after this shot he's going to play green, and ideally rush green, what we call south, so down the lawn. You can just see the brown ball in the background near hoop 4. So here we go, he's going to hit this straight. They should go through, but it's not guaranteed. Right, so it's not through, but it's in the drawers, and that's second prize. That's okay, nothing wrong with that. He should be able later in the break, or fairly soon actually, to come down and then finish off the peel by probably knocking it through, rushing it through with a roquet. So he's now rushing green up the lawn. So a standard triple peel, it's really just a 4-ball break, but with a bit of added complication. So green is now going to go to hoop 5. Just panning across here. Can't quite see hoop 5, but it's the one with the red top. And then pink wants to finish just shy of brown, so it can tap brown in front of hoop 4 and make that hoop. So this is probably a normal croquet stroke, a drive, maybe a bit of a stop shot. Different players, mallets and styles produce different ratios of croquet strokes, so it would be normal for me. It might be a stop shot for Ben. There you see green going over to the red topped hoop, and pink's nicely on brown. There we are, yeah. So I would imagine that after making hoop 4 off brown, so pink's roquet brown, so it's taking croquet off it. So he's going to play croquet stroke, then he's going to, in the continuation, run the hoop, and then we'll see what he does next. It's almost too close for comfort. Oh, blimey, that is a bad stroke. He's completely got that wrong. I think he was aiming to move brown more and pink less. This looks a very difficult hoop. Very difficult. He's a golf croquet player, so he might cope. No. Has he? I think that's a failure. He seems upset, and he should be. Okay, so I've not got the chance to describe standard triple peel to you. Yeah, so in that little approach, I said he was too close to comfort. He just wanted to move pink 6 inches, and he moved it 9 inches, and now it's the end of turn. So brown is obviously a trivial hit on pink. He'd like to be able to knock it out of the hoop. It's no good to him where it is. Can't see exactly where pink is, but I imagine he should be able to knock it out one way or the other. Assuming I'm right in that he's for hoop 1, he'll then probably hit pink, then put pink to hoop 2. You're always looking to put a pioneer at your next hoop, and get a rush on green to hoop 1. And so if the first few shots go well, he's got a good chance of a break. So there is Greg. I just had a quick chat with him. I think he's down below us, or he was. He's probably as surprised as we are that Ben's messed up. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot multitask, so I can either keep speaking to you or I can update the scoreboard, but it's a bit beyond me to do both because I've got to change all the colours and the flags and the names. So I think I'll just do it on audio until somebody joins me, which I hope they will do in a minute. If you're listening downstairs, please co-commentator. There's Chris Clark wandering about. Please come back, Chris. No? Anyway. All right, we found Greg. Good. So, can brown get pink out of the hoop? It'd be surprising if he couldn't do it one way or the other. Just wondering whether he should call the referee. It's just a courtesy. There's a danger. I mean, if he was further away, this would definitely be the right thing to do, because there's a danger that you hit the hoop and pink moves, but you haven't actually hit pink. So we're now getting, I think that's David Malouf, isn't it? Just to check that browns rotate pink. It's the World Championship. Probably in any other tournament you just crack on with it, but we don't want an international incident. It's looking like it might be. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Here we go. Well, he definitely hit it. But I don't think he's got it out of the hoop, has he? Hang on. Looking for the right shot. No, he's okay. Sorry. It was coming directly towards me, and I thought, yeah. Oh, well, no, it isn't. Right. So, that makes things more difficult. That's one consolation for Ben, is that had he been able to knock pink out of the hoop there, he'd be in a lot better shape. Now it's a lot more difficult to pick up the break. So here he's trying to get a rush on green to hoop 1. No, he's not. What's going on? I've got a co-commentator. Hurrah. Tell me what's going on, Tom. I've lost the plot a bit here.
All right, so Ben stuffed hoop 4 on a triple attempt with pink. And it appears that Mr. Hill now has something interesting has occurred.
Well, exactly.
What the heck?
He couldn't get pink out of the hoop. I don't know whether on his next shot brown hit the hoop or something. Did he miss green?
But I don't understand how he couldn't have gotten closer to green off of whatever takeoff.
No, that's where sorry.
That's it. So that's very interesting. Yeah, I have no idea how all that transpired.
Okay, so a lucky escape for Rotham there, but he's no longer got the innings.
Well, he's about to if he can hit green. He no longer has his triple.
Green, there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I
he
just
has,
don't. Yeah.
He hasn't made the first field yet.
So,
but he's lost the break, as you say.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's very. Greg will be very disappointed in that. even the shot from brown to green, though it was, I don't know exactly how he got in that position, was only about a 7-yarder, 7-8-yarder that he missed. Greg Hill did go undefeated in block play, I believe. I'll look that up just to make sure I didn't just lie to you.
No, I think that's right.
But so he's had a very strong tournament so far. In other news, Greg Fletcher has triumphed in 2 games over Jack Good. So Greg Fletcher will now be through, and if his brother wins this game, he'll get his brother. So it'll be an all Fletcher second round.
Fletcher versus Fletcher.
That's right.
Win an Oscar in the 70s. Oh, Kramer. Oh, that's Kramer.
Ben here now with his 7-yarder. A little less, actually, more like 6. Hits it. So Ben's back in with the innings. Let's see what he decides to do here. So a very strong idea might be to get green back over towards corner 4 and attempt a roll up to a partner in 4 back. Rush peel partner through and set up a leave in corner 3 or near corner 3. That way he gets rid of the last, he gets rid of one of the lift hoops later on if he's unable to get a triple reestablished, which at this point would be asking for a bit. James Deeth has triumphed over my fellow countryman, Kyle Maloof. And James will play the winner of Stephen Morgan and Samir Patel. Stephen Morgan back on the court now in what I presume is still game 2. There's been some interactivity. And Stephen looks like he's had the majority of play against Samir. So looking like it might be Mr. Morgan. But it's anyone's guess. It's anyone's game. Matthew Essick did triumph over Callum Highland and will be my opponent tomorrow. We're still waiting to see whether or not Mr. Watson gets to play Stephen Forster or Stephen Mulliner.
Armando, good to go with the scoreboard now. Yeah.
And those are the only real new updates that I see that we have here on paper.
Okay, so I've got the scoreboard up. I'm afraid I haven't switched to second colours. I'm not sure how easy it is to do that. Oh, sorry, I've moved the mic. We've had a quick move around. We're back in there. Right. So the scoreboard's more or less right, apart from... in fact, it's not right at all. So hang on, let me... That? There am I think that's better. So pinks for 4, whites for 4 back, and green and brown are both 1. Oh, I've lost the flag down there. Talk some more, Thomas. I haven't quite done it.
So, Ben is taken off to the brown ball. Ooh, might get some sort of a rush. Oh, if it had just gone a couple more feet, he might have even had some sort of cut rush back down the court. But it's a very good takeoff to land him just within a foot or so of that brown ball. And he's looking over towards the white. So I suspect, let's see what he's thinking here. He could do a takeoff, a thickish takeoff to push brown up towards corner 2. Going over to the white ball, which it looks like he's eyeing at the moment. No, he's just gonna do a roll shot. Okay. This has some risks with it. So big risk here if you are unable to get a hit on white. So if for whatever reason he comes up short, hoop 6 is in the way.
I'm taking off here every time, Tom.
I think so too. I think I'm just going to rush peel white and lay up in the corner. And Greg has missed some shorter hit-ins. I think I'm just going to make him try to hit.
Absolutely.
The only reason that he might be dissuaded from doing that right now is that green is hovering near hoop 1. So if a hit with brown on any ball that Ben leaves in the corner would probably necessitate that Greg gets a good break going. So, but you never know. It looks like the court has been quitted by Mr. Morgan and Mr. Patel. So potential results coming in pretty soon. But all right. So
Agreed. Okay. News. We thought it might be the case. Brian Cumming, Mark Avery was first through the second round. He beat Brian Cumming. Brian didn't take Croquet. Mark won in a 6th turn TP and a 7th turn TP. Can't remember which way round. Oh, that's interesting.
that's a
Why is he not rush blood.
He's gone to the backside of it.
So Brian basically had 4 shots. He missed them all.
I think he's going to try to rush it down to his hoop.
And Brian Cumming is out of the event.
Yeah.
So sorry to Jane.
That's actually a really good shot. If he was going for the rush down to 4, that's a fantastic shot. So for those at home, you can sometimes use hoops like that, but when a ball's in the jaws of a hoop, you can use it as a way to sort of, quote unquote, direct your rush. So the hoop will act some sort of as a funnel. I think the center mass of the white ball is on this side of the hoop from our perspective on the camera. So there's a chance that it would go crooked. But he hits it nice and solid. You see Pink there followed it right into the hoop itself. And he has just rushed it almost perfectly down to hoop 4, just a little bit to the east, west, I should say. East from our perspective.
Thanks to Armando. I could have done that probably, but we have the colours right now, so everything's good. So why? I mean, I'm very surprised that he didn't rush Peel partner through a lift hoop.
Well, I think right now he's thinking he just wants to get his break around, and that was the only shot he had. He's already had green, and green is hovering somewhere near 5. So now there's a real chance that he has break prospects.
Oh, he's got a break. I've gone out. I'm stupid.
This is the hoop that he stuffed from a similar position just a second ago. So let's see if this one he can just hit through hard to the boundary because he'll have a reverse rush back to Brown. So I don't think.
I'm sorry. I should have had my coffee after lunch. No, I'm talking nonsense, people. Nonsense, I tell you.
He's hit it well. So he'll have about a 5-yarder back up towards the Brown ball. So Greg unable to capitalize on Ben's error, leaving some balls on the lawn. So it's he'll be thinking about that one for a bit, regardless of the outcome of this game. Yeah, Justin Fields is in the chat. Thank you, Justin. So good to see you. Good to hear from you. Wish you and Blake and all them were here. Justin Fields, everybody, is
friend of yours, is it?
Blake Fields' father.
Oh, right. Okay. So, Blake Fields.
So good friend of all the champion. Yes. So good friend of all the American players and a good player in his own right.
Right. So all right. Played both or
mostly GC, I think.
GC. Right. Okay. So there we are.
That's a great rush.
That's a great talk. So I was all being too negative there. I didn't really think of him picking up the break.
It was a risky maneuver the way he played it, because had he not gotten the pace right approaching that ball, he would either not be able to hit it and have rolled Brown over to it, or he would have not gotten any usable rush really down to 4 and also be denying himself the chance to peel through the lift hoop. So it was a very aggressive and confident line of play. I like it.
Okay, so
this is pretty good.
Of maybe a delayed TP.
Yeah,
I was just before you got here, I was just explaining to the crowd, this is ideal opportunity for me to show you what an on-time TP looks like.
Yeah.
And then he goes and stuffs 4. Right.
Much better viewing without double banking. Yes, Michael, so the first round is the only round that we have to double bank, just because 12 lawns, 16 rounds. But now that once we're through here today and we get to the round of 16, then we won't have to double bank, and it will be best of 5 matches. So play will go on.
That's definite now, is it?
I think so.
Yeah. Good.
Don't quote me just in case.
Let's hope so.
But the original plan was best of 5.
Yeah.
So we'll have the court space.
Yeah.
But
let's hope so.
So
absolutely.
Okay, so we have here, he's put Peely back in good position, and so now his goal is going to be rushing Brown all the way to the south boundary past green, and where he can pop it back up as an escape ball for 6 while approaching green to get to 5. So big rush incoming. And he has rushed it out. I think he cut it a little bit more than he wanted. I think he would have preferred it more towards where we see behind hoop 1, where the deadness board is. For those who are tuning in from other countries and are not familiar, those little boards with the slats right there and the ball colors are deadness boards for American rules. So you move those windows and uncover the balls that the ball you're playing is dead on. So, but anywho, so okay. So this would be a situation where my stop shot would just not be sufficient because my ratios are pretty bad. But Ben, I know, has a pretty good stop shot. So he should be able to get decent shape on this green ball and be able to send Brown down as a functioning escape ball. The problem for Brown is coming up too short. That's the biggest problem. Because if it's too short on that 4-back hoop, you're not going to be able to get the peel and have any sort of rush over to 6. A little long, you can still do it. A little, but.
Ideally, you wouldn't be placing this ball from 25 yards, but beggars can't be choosers.
Right. So
Rothman's lucky to be back on the lawn, frankly. So, if this goes well, I think if this shot goes well, he's be favourite to finish. Would you say?
Yeah, if he does this shot well and gets decent shape on green, one of the big issues here that's going to make placing Brown hard is you need a decent rush on green. It's floating way out away from 5. You really don't want to be doing any adventurous roll-ups to this hoop.
I think I've said this before. Every croquet stroke, you're almost always worried about where the striker's ball goes. The croquet ball, you need to have a vague idea it's going.
It's
But
fixable.
it's the striker's ball that's the key to get right, almost every time.
Yeah, because if that breaks down on you, then we've pretty much it's over. But
Shall we introduce ourselves? I'm Andrew Gregory.
and I'm Tom Balding. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
But,
Well, you're sorry you're Tom Baldwin.
well, I'm sorry that we didn't introduce ourselves earlier.
Oh, I see.
But-
Right, yeah.
So, all right, Ben here taking his big
go.
stop shot.
Right, let's see.
He has prioritized pink, and Brown has remained short.
Yeah, Brown's not come far enough.
So there will probably be no peel here before 6. So
But he's got pink right.
he's got pink right. That's the important part. So hoop
Break-
5
the
should
break
be in order.
continues, yeah.
So he won't be worried about making hoop 5 too much. He'll just have a nice good rush over here, and he'll probably have a decent chance of getting control out of the hoop. And it is official, ladies and gentlemen. Stephen Morgan has triumphed over Samir Patel in 2. So Stephen will be playing James Deeth in the round of 16.
Right. We haven't had many results, but there's some tasty matchups already.
Yes.
Ahead in the second round, yeah.
I think once you get through the first round of the World Championship, pretty much every match after that is a true contender, someone who's
Yeah.
could take it all the way. You know, there's always
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
There's always a surprise.
people are on.
Yes,
It's
does well to get through
everyone's
the
on
block.
good form. They've gotten
Yeah.
one knockout match under their belt. We're down to just normally it's a field of 80. This time it's a field of 72, but you're down to the top 20% normally. Of
Yeah,
the
yeah.
field.
The top 16.
Yeah. So, you know, theoretically, anyone has a good chance of just having a couple of good days of play and getting the win. But, all right, so Ben here with a good approach to 5 and has managed to keep the green ball nice and deep so that there's a chance of a rush. We have an update from Mulliner-Forster game 2. Forster ran 9, set the leave. Mulliner hit in, ran 9, set the leave. Forster missed. Mulliner broke down at hoop 2. Forster took over, went to the peg, and set the leave. So, it is now favorite in that game to Forster.
I think Stephen's favourite in that game.
Yes.
Oh, boom. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
It's
So,
an old joke.
and then I don't know the results of their game 1. They haven't said. So, Brian Hovis, if you're out there and you can hear me or hear anybody, if we can get an idea of who won the first game between Mulliner and Forster.
I think it was Mulliner, but I'm not 100%.
We have it here up on the screen, the current knockout bracket. This is actually a little bit past its current update. So we have a few more matches in there. But, so as we said, James Deeth triumphed over Kyle Maloof, and Stephen Morgan triumphed over Samir Patel. So that will be the match directly above my name. And Matthew Essick did triumph over Callum Highland. So, there we go. There's the most updated. So as you can see, more names are starting to fill in the bracket. A lot of familiar ones. Robert Fulford, Reg Bamford, James Deeth, Matthew Essick, Mark Avery, Zach Watson, myself, and Stephen Morgan, and Greg Fletcher. So lots of names on there that have been to this stage before and have gone much further. So it's starting to get real interesting. So
You can't see it, but I can see court 3 where Jose Reaver and Marcus Evans have just started their deciding game. It's game all. And Jose is on the lawn. I can't see enough to see any clips, I'm afraid, but might move my chair a bit round if this game finishes. It's a chance that Ben Rothman is here playing the match-winning turn. Now he's switched around a bit, hasn't he? Because he can't do the peel before 6. He's now going for the peel after 6.
right,
So you
rushing it back out of...
Rush white to 6, make it. Rush white back to 4 back, and then peel it. which I think we saw Robert have a go at and didn't quite work out for him. But
Yes.
you've got to drawback with that. You've got to run hoop 6 by just the right amount to get the rush due. I'm going to say east. Might be right.
Right, and that was the problem Robert had, was he didn't get a good rush to 6, so his approach was not as tight as he might want it to be. So Ben here will be looking to get white right up to 6 almost, so that he can get a less than 8-inch probably hoop shot, come through with control, get the rush that he wants. He's overhit it slightly.
Yeah. But,
Still fine, but
it's
again...
okay. It's nice because white is naturally going to the east of the hoop here.
Brian Hovis confirms Mulliner did win game 1, so this could potentially tie things 1-1 for Forster if Mulliner misses the hit in and Forster finishes. Ben now with a very important approach to hoop 6 to potentially get this triple back. That is an okay hoop approach, a little further out than he would like, but he has sent white fairly far.
Well, I don't think it's too far. The advantage of this is you don't have to be so precise so pink on this stroke. There's a wider range where you might get a rush to pink position.
And that might do it.
And also, you're not endangering the break here. And we saw Robert ended up having his 2-back pioneer at 4-back. And to my mind, that's endangering the break. And it is to a certain extent. But obviously, Robert decided he was, playing well enough that the rush to 2-back and making the hoop was a 99-point-something%. Now let's have a look.
Ben has underhit the rush.
Think he can even jaws it?
That would be very difficult even just to jaws on these hoops.
Yeah.
Any amount of hill or draw whatsoever is going to make that bounce off of a firm quadway.
But he's put his malice aside. He's going to have a go. And he can hit it
straight.
Might as well.
He
can hit this straight.
Yeah,
so
he's got good shape on Brown.
There's
Mulliner has missed the lift shot, I've been told. So Forster with a chance, I think, of a winning turn now to win game 2. So, all right. We're back up to 74 people on the live stream, a little lower than our morning numbers, but folks,
they're coming back. They're coming back after lunch.
Yeah, so folks, if you have any of your friends who were watching today or you think would enjoy it, please share the link around with them and make sure that everybody joins us here at the United States Croquet Association YouTube channel.
Coming up to 7 o'clock back home, so I'll hope to have a few viewers in the United Kingdom and Ireland and anywhere else. Speaking of Ireland, Andy Johnston, is he playing? Do you have any news of him?
I will look up on the bracket. He was playing Ian Lyons, I believe.
That's right.
And
you see, I think that's right. They were double backed.
And they've been going on. They're still going on, I think, because there's been no results. But I did see some back and forth play when I was out there because I was on the court adjacent to them.
The players are under no obligation. Once they finish their first game, they don't have to come to the hut to report their results.
Right. Here we go. Ben's angled peel attempt. Probably just soft for the jaws. And that's a really good shot. Really well aimed. So that's more than halfway through the hoop, I believe. The center mass is slightly this side because he's looking at what kind of angle he could pop it out at. So now he has to. So it looks like he's just sort of talking himself through what he's going to do next. Let's see a replay here. Look at this. This is beautifully aimed. This is very tricky to pull off correctly without it bouncing out. Hit that right in the sweet spot. So, all right. So Ben seems to be having a bit of a wonder as to what he's going to do, which I don't really understand because things seem pretty straightforward here. But maybe he's just taking his time after a difficult shot to ground himself before he goes into a simple rush. It is often the case, and I've been on the receiving end of it myself, that when you have just gotten done taking your time on what might be considered a difficult or a high-energy shot, you sort of hit that wall where your adrenaline drops back down again, or you just sort of take a deep breath, and then you start playing bad shots, even when they're easy.
A number of times I've run a long hoop, a 6-foot hoop or something, and then missed the 3-yard rush.
Right.
I couldn't begin to count.
I've built plenty of breaks where I was having to rush over the court and roll up to hoops from 7 yards away, and once you finally get things tidy and you get that first 1-foot hoop shot, you stuff it.
Yeah.
Because you have that moment where you go, oh, all right, I did it. The hard work's over, and you lose your focus. So Ben obviously very calculated, so maybe he was just taking a moment there to sort of reassess things before he hit what would be considered a gimme rush. just to make sure that he knew exactly what he was going to do and that he was in the proper headspace to do it. Because now there's going to be some bigger shots that have to be hit. So he is going to want to rush peel white through as soon as possible so that he has the prospect of jawsing or peeling it going to 4-back. He's now approaching 1-back, sending a ball down to as his 2-back pioneer. So if he gets a good pioneer, he could very feasibly... pink is short. Pink is short. Yeah, brown is perfect.
Yeah, you're right.
Again, not probably going to destroy the break, but it's a little bit of loss of control there. If you had great control of this hoop, you could rush back across, easily pop white through, and just take off down to your perfect pioneer.
Yeah, you want to hit this.
That's really
That's
not
good.
unfortunate. So if
does
he were
look
approaching
directly
hoop
behind.
2, that would be perfect. But since he's for 1-back, this is one of the worst places to land your pioneer or your reception ball because he now has to take off around the hoop. And since he's directly behind it, he'll have to, by nature, play an angled shot of some sort and not have a straight-on hoop shot unless the court has some sort of favorable curve
You
to
wanted
it.
to hit that, what, couple of feet less, and then he'd have a reasonable chance.
Yeah,
of
he was
the
going
rush
for the
back and
he
stuff.
was going for the cut, I think, to get it in front or next to it. He's
So
played
there
it
we are.
well, and he actually should be able to do a hoop and roquet here, so he can try to run this firmly if he would like. So he's looking at the orientation of the hoop, because if the ball goes roughly straight as it comes through the hoop, you don't want to just whiz past the green ball.
It's always amusing when you see other people.
It happened
do that.
to Callum Highland in the 2v1 match against Matthew earlier today. He was just in front of hoop 5, and Red was maybe a little bit further behind it than that. And he came through and missed it by literally a fraction of an inch down to the north boundary. So Ben here, big hoop shot with the to get a forward rush as well. Yep.
Got it.
So he didn't hit it as hard as I thought he might, just because I don't think he really cared to get green down there that far.
I think he's going to white here or straight to brown.
He's looking over at white, but it's pretty hazardous at this moment with this big cross-court shot.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's necessary. I think he can
Exactly.
focus. Brown is so good. Get green to a good position at 3-back.
Yeah. Get a rush on brown.
Right. Get a rush back out of this hoop on Brown to pop it through and then take off like Fulford did in his game.
Oops.
So he is ignoring white for now, it looks like, which is the smart play. Paul Warner is here from the Bay of Plenty, New Zealand. Good morning, Paul. Thank you for joining us. So we're just finishing up the last of our day 1 knockout matches.
But last on this court.
Last one on this court.
Yeah.
Most of them are starting to get into the later stages or have finished already.
So,
Oh, he is going to white.
no, well, we got that wrong.
Okay. Never
Here
say
we
die,
come.
Benjamin.
Here we come.
And he's judged it
That's
really well.
10 out of 10. 10
Wow, what touch that is. And he's done that twice now. He did that to get the rush to hoop 4
Yeah,
to
I did-
start this break.
I mean, I hadn't even considered the possibility of picking up a break from there.
Yeah.
Which is pretty bad commentating.
So-
shows I'm not good enough player.
Yeah, well, we
There's
were in
certain
a
things just
defensive
beyond-
mindset.
I'm almost certain that Jose Riva, he's just made 3 back and he's having a leave. Can't see the clips. I'm not sure if that's first break or not. But,
So
always a
now-
4 back from Jose.
Ben has peeled the white ball through 4-back, so the first peel is now completed, and which some might argue is especially when you start from a more advanced clip position, is the difficult part of the triple, because now he can get things back into just a normal delayed position.
He's got a long takeoff here.
Yeah, I don't.
But he should cope.
Yeah, his touch has been good enough. I doubt that this will cause him too much grief. However, a couple of things could go wrong. Run it up short, and all of a sudden, Brown is so close to the hoop that if you have to hit a little harder, you push it behind the hoop like he had at 1-back.
Yeah.
And then if you go long, there's always the specter of the wire with the hoop. And immediately he's standing up, and he doesn't know what to think of that. He has gone long.
But the
It's not
courage-
horrible, but he went long. Yeah, and
That's fine.
he's indicating. He just indicated with his hand that there was a hill off there. So that was not the line he chose. So he actually might have gotten somewhat lucky had that
Yes,
started on
it
the
might-
line
it might.
that he originated on.
I thought that was quite a good line to take. But
Yeah.
if he got it held.
So, and it's not a bad approach to this hoop. obviously, the players at this caliber, they don't want to be approaching hoops like this. Most players, I think, watching at home would say, oh, that's a really good takeoff. He got within a yard or two of it, and he's within a yard or two of the hoop. But he would much prefer, with how good that Pioneer was, he wanted to be approaching this hoop from about half the current distance and more straight in front. It just erases that small percentage chance that something could go wrong. But he has coped. So Mulliner has lost game 2 to Forster, 26-10. So it's a game apiece.
Decider. Excellent.
And Paul Warner says, hey there, Tom. Looks like you've got an interesting game coming up. Yes, I have to face my dear friend and teammate and 2-time silver medalist in this event, Matthew Essick. 2-time consecutive silver medalist.
Exactly.
So, you know.
I would say he's going for the hat trick, but of course he isn't.
Yeah, I'm a confident player. Yeah. I'm going to play my game. The odds don't seem to be in my favor just on paper, but...
So do you and Matt play a lot? Who has the upper hand at the moment? Is it his turn to win, your turn to win?
We have not played as much AC in the last couple of years in this country. We've been playing a lot of golf croquet.
Okay.
So I was considerably less good at AC 2 or 3 years ago than I am now.
Okay.
When I first went to the MAC and before that. So I did used to play Matthew a lot more in AC back when we were playing it more prevalently. And I don't know if I ever came off with, I may have come off with a win or two, but I think he's got the better of me just because Matthew by that time was still a world contender already. And so I'll be looking for I'll be looking to get my notches on my pistol.
So Ben's played an excellent rush after 2 backs, so he can get white over towards penalt. We've had confirmation from Brian that Jose's had the first break. All other clips on 1, and I think that was Marcus missing the long shot down the east boundary to near 4th corner. So I can't see where Red is, but presumably Red's near the west boundary, and Jose's got a rush to that. And if he gets his TP, which will have to be delayed, that'll be Jose through at round 2.
Yeah. On lawn 7, adjacent to the one we are currently watching, Robert Fletcher is running a triple, on-time triple, and he's gotten 2 peels and has just made 1 back to win the match against David Fuller. So this is a finishing turn for the match if he can complete this.
Yeah, almost sorry that game wasn't on 6. We think there was, I don't know, there might have been a 3-ball
There was.
Yeah, there was 3-ball
Very
ending,
interesting.
So
okay,
always interesting. Hope to have one of those before the event's out to commentate on.
Ben has come up a touch short on this rush over towards penalt, so he'll have to cut this a bit and then tidy it up with his takeoff, most likely.
Thickish takeoff.
So let's see how he does here. You can see this is a wonderful camera angle. Let's see, he's just aiming for the edge of that ball. Hit it full. So it's not bad. It's actually, some people prefer to have it there.
Exactly.
A little closer to the hoop maybe than he has it, but
maybe a little.
The idea is that since you're coming up from the other side of the court, instead of having to roll or get a rush down court and get in good shape on the white ball, if you can roll up to it and just pop it back in front of the hoop.
Of course, I think you were commentating Bamford against Good Saturday evening.
I wasn't, but
okay. So in this position, Reg had the peelie in front of penalt. He made 3 back. He didn't get a rush. He tried a big roll, and the pink ended up in the middle of hoop 6. Well, not pink. Well, the equivalent of pink ended up in the middle of hoop 6, unable to hit a thing. So I agree. I think White's better there than in front of the hoop at the moment.
And
he's waving his hands.
Again, some curling off. He's a touch short on that takeoff, and we kind of saw Fulford have this issue before in this exact same position, where he came up a little short and he miscut it. This is a slightly better angle for him. Patty Chapman asking, hello team from Morrinsville, New Zealand. Any update on Elaine versus Ginny? I wish I could see what court they are on. I have no they're back there, are they? I think that's Elaine on the court.
I don't know.
Is that Elaine on the court? So yes, it is, because I can see Jenny sitting in the background. So I don't know the status of the games, but Elaine is currently in play with the blue and the black ball. Maybe Brian Hovis can get an update for us if he's listening downstairs.
That'll be good. There's nothing recorded on Croquet scores. I mean they're surprised they haven't finished the game, but as I say, we don't always get the results of the games in matches until the end of the match
So Ben has come up decently on this hoop, slightly angled, and maybe just a little further than ideal. So it'll be interesting to see if he runs this with enough pace to keep his forward rush. It's not necessary, but it is always a nice bonus.
Yeah.
He has left green nice and deep.
Yeah.
But
Too
he had to
far.
make the hoop a little more.
Yeah.
The hoops have been demanding enough respect from the players that when you have those slightly angled, longer hoops, and that was the hoop who he did stuff hoop 4 earlier.
So I think
So-
the intention was to tighten up the hoops, a bit.
Yes.
Did you find them a bit trickier today? Or?
So my courts were not the ones that had the new holes
Right.
on the wings. So
Okay.
our hoops were good, but not as tough as these in the middle are. So tonight, the hoops in the middle will not be reset, but the hoops on the wings will be.
Okay.
So, and when I say reset, I mean they'll be putting new holes.
Yeah.
So they will obviously
also-
reset all the hoops, but in the same holes on these middle
Absolutely.
courts.
I understand.
He's
think the
coming up
original-
on white, and it's pretty good. It's, again, a little far for exact control, and he might have to slightly cut this one.
Yeah.
So we can see he's left himself about a 2-yarder, not quite. He's looking for a spot he likes. And now the problem with this peel is that he's going to have to play it probably with a little bit of draw, unless he wants to just accept the slightly longer rush on Brown, which is fine. But his touch has been good enough, and Brown is slightly north of hoop 11. As you can see on this camera angle, very good there. So, and that's really well paced. What a shot. That's exactly where you want it. So, okay, he has put his mallet down to line this up, but he almost looks like he's looking at the rush line he wants on Brown, so he is going to play this with draw.
Yeah. You put the mallet where you want pink. That's allowed. Because the mallet's part of your equipment. What you can't do, and what a certain Reg Bamford tried to do, I think it was in New Zealand, he was sending 2 balls off the lawn. So he put his mallet where he wanted 1 ball, that's fine. And then he got his clip and put it where he wanted the other ball, and that is not fine. You're not allowed to do that. It's a minor point.
Yes.
Anyway, so a delayed double ahead, and Rothman wins the match. Could all be over in about 10 minutes, but many a slip. Right, I can see. What can I see? So, okay, this is interesting. I can only see about half of court 3.
Yeah. So, by
I've
the way,
seen a referee come on to court 3, and Marcus has handed him his mallet. So all I can think of is Marcus is claiming a wiring lift, but that might be wrong. Anyway,
Ben has this white ball aimed a little bit towards the far wire. We can see it there on that angle. So he's
I think that
anticipating.
looks about right. It doesn't look quite enough to me, but everybody.
I have been very unable to calculate the draw properly this week, so who am I to judge?
Indeed.
But it depends on the stroke he plays. And
Well,
as you can see,
obviously,
he's thinking about it. So my understanding is that the flatter the stroke, the more draw it puts upon it.
Okay.
So at least that's been my experience.
What we call pull, but pull or
yes.
draw.
Draw, pull.
Draw's fine.
The ball doesn't go in the exact line you aim it. Oh, wait a minute. He's got that ball aimed way outside of the wire. Can we switch back to that other camera view real quick? While
I was
he's
going to say, I thought he wasn't giving it enough.
the one from the other side of the hoop where he's looking. Oh, he's in the way, but this is the
Get out
camera
of the
view.
way, Ben.
If he moves, that ball is actually aimed outside. Center mass is outside of the wire right now. Come on, show us. Look at that thing.
Yeah.
The center ball is on. It looks like it should miss the hoop entirely. He's anticipating a lot of draw. Which probably means he's going to try to hit this as a drive shot or a stop shot. This is a big shot. Greg has so far not really had any real play this game, but you would hate to not finish this turn and for him to have that one hit in that changes the tide.
Yeah. A croquet game, it ain't over till it's over. There'll almost only be one game every season in which one player
Here we go.
scores 25 points, misses the peg,
He's
loses
playing this
the
as
game.
So knowing that white ball's aimed outside, ooh, and he calculated too much draw.
Too much.
It just clipped that outside wire, but
It's in good shape.
it has landed in perfect position almost for a straight double.
Yeah. Yeah,
So as we said
he'll take that.
in the earlier game with Fulford, that is the position that you would love to do a straight double from, where you can control the peel a lot better. The rush to 4-back is not the best, but it's fine. He's rushed it slightly to the other side, so he'll be doing a reverse takeoff here. So the only problem with this is if he doesn't get great position on 4-back and he has to come through hard, then it's just he's not going to be able to control his rush as much getting down court. It doesn't matter too much. It's nitpicking, but
Yeah.
so, but these are the little things. Let's see. So to answer Patty's question, we have an update. So Clark versus Giroux. Clark on 4-back and 1. Giroux on a break. Blue clips on 4, which is Elaine's ball, and approaching 1-back with black. So he's got some work to do.
Do we know who won the first game?
Do not. So Brian, if we have an idea of which game that is, he's approached this takeoff really well. So this should be fine.
Fine.
Yep, with control. So most of the hard work is now done. The real tester here will be getting this penult peel through properly, well, with the right weight. Brian does not know at the moment if they have already completed a game. I think I see. Is that John Graney filming on their lawn? Maybe he's aware. But so their match, actually, for those who are interested, is currently being filmed, which will be released. Or at least this game will be released later on the USCA YouTube channel that we are currently live streaming on. So for those who will want to go back and watch Elaine versus Jenny, we will have that, or at least some of it, filmed for you. Brian says he's on the case, and we'll find out which game they're in. So, all right. So just like before, Ben has sent the ball. He likes the ball in these straight doubles level with the peg, just in case something goes awry with his peel and white doesn't get all the way down.
Yeah, you don't want brown at rover here.
Green will be his escape ball.
Oh, hello. Got my headphones on. I heard a bit of noise there, but no words.
All right, and he has kept white in really nice position. So almost dead in front, just a few inches. Not even, I don't even think white is about 6-7 inches out from the hoop. Less than that, probably 3 or 4. So he should get this through very cleanly if he lines it up properly and puts a good clean stroke on it. The question will be the weight of the shot. So if it does catch just a fraction of wire because it's not exactly straight, or something weird happens as it goes through the hoop, how much weight does he hit the shot with? So if you assume, the way I like to do these is, I assume if I'm in this good of a position, I ask myself, how hard can I afford to hit it if it caught no wire or very, very, very little to not go past rover, to at least end up level with it. And then the assumption is, if at worst, I'll be just a little bit short of rover, but I'll never be past it. He's hit the shot, and slowing down, and he weighted that one really well. So, and that's sort of what, he did catch a little wire out of that, and that's sort of what you expect. I think he weighted that, sort of what I was saying, to just, had it caught 0 wire, probably not going to go anywhere past rover. He did indicate with his hands that he wanted it to slow a bit, so maybe he hit it just a touch harder than he had anticipated. But so yes, Brian Hovis has confirmed for us that Alain Giroux won the first game against Jenny Clark. So this could potentially be for the match if Elaine is able to keep the innings here. But there's still, with his clip position being what it is, with a ball on 4 after an early breakdown, it seems, there's still a lot of croquet left to be played. Because all Jenny needs is to hit in and run a triple, and then she's off to the races. So
Absolutely.
But all right, so Ben here has done most of the heavy lifting. So now it's just about good break management coming into this rover ball. This is where a lot of people lose their triple because they don't focus enough on getting perfect position on that white ball to put it right in front of the hoop. And then they end up with a slightly uglier peel attempt. And with a straight rover peel, you just cannot afford that too often. So we probably won't be seeing any cannons like Mr. Fulford played.
That was good, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So Ben sending green down as the deep ball.
That's a deep ball. I like that. That's it. That's old-fashioned.
So for the folks at home who are new to AC or aren't quite up on all of the strategy yet, the purpose of the deep ball is if for whatever reason he feels the need to only put white into the jaws, or he has to peel white firmly and it goes deep, then that deep ball is there for two reasons. If he puts it in the jaws and then decides to jump over it, it'll be the ball that he can roquet first easily from the south boundary and then go back and fix things. And if he ends up driving white close to the back boundary, he will come through, he'll have brown next to the hoop to hit, and then he'll go and use green to get a nice rush behind the white ball. So it serves two purposes.
So this is played differently from when I started the game. In the old Nowadays, it would just an Irish peel where you try and score both together. Whereas in the old days, you do a stop shot peel, stop your white in front of the hoop. And then the advantage of the deep ball then, as well as the two you mentioned, sometimes the ball goes through 6 inches or a foot, and you don't want to roquet it because then you can't peg it out. And then you just jump over it down to green, the deep ball. So this is... this is classical.
So Brown was meant to be a little shorter than where it ended up. It's gone behind the hoop, and Brown is what you ideally would call your side ball, which is a ball that is just past level with the hoop, a few inches at
So
best.
if you run the hoop by an inch, it's there.
Right.
To the side.
You can just turn sideways, hit that ball, and you don't have to worry about a hampered backswing. So Ben now with a slightly longer and a slightly maybe more angled peel attempt than he would love to have, but it's still very makeable. So the reason that you see him getting down on the ground to line this up for those, again, who are maybe not used to peeling turns yet, he's looking at the edges of the ball. So what he's doing is he's trying to find the point where the white ball disappears behind the horizon of the pink ball, and then seeing in the background if he can still see a gap of air between the ball and the upright of the hoop. And the idea is that both sides, well, two things. If it's straight on, both sides should appear equal. If it's angled, then you want to see a gap of air between the nearest upright to you, and you can have it a little thicker into the far upright because you're not going to avoid wire altogether. But he's trying to find the point where the ball looks like it has the most optimal clearance.
Whether you're running a hoop or peeling a hoop or whatever, always miss the near wire as much as you can.
Yes.
If you hit the near wire and ain't going through.
Yes, if you have any angle on a hoop whatsoever, the near wire is the killer. It'll stop you in your tracks. So we have a great camera angle here, slightly angled, probably about a 1.5 footer. So nothing crazy. Should have good control over this, and a nice smooth stroke right through the hoop. Perfect.
That's great. And Pink's stopped in the middle, which is normally a disaster, but that was a croquet stroke.
Yes.
So he's got a continuation stroke. So
White went quite deep. And again, this is like we were saying, the purpose of the deep ball. You can see White back there. So instead of having to start doing some long rushes or takeoffs to try and get a good rush back up the court, he's just going to take off straight to green, tap green up next to White, and get a perfect rush that way on the White ball. Because there is a little bit of furniture with hoop 5. So you're going to have a pretty...
miss hoop 5.
You do want to have a good rush on that ball so that there's no mistakes that happen. So unfortunately for Mr. Hill, a couple of bad misses have translated to him now potentially...
Yeah, we might have to ask him. Maybe not immediately.
Maybe not today.
What happened at hoop 4?
Yeah, because I didn't quite see. I was walking up here and I didn't quite see how he didn't. I get that he may not have gotten the ball out of the hoop, but to not get anywhere near green just seems interesting. Because surely he had a takeoff at it.
Oh, maybe he hit his foot. I mean, these things happen. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right,
good rush there. So
rush to the peg.
You just have to avoid hoop 5.
Yeah.
Pretty much just avoid hoop 5 and you're good here. So
yeah, that's good.
He has avoided hoop 5. He's weighted it well, and he'll have
that's
about a yard and a half peg out.
Yeah.
So barring an unprecedented disaster here, which Ben Rothman is unlikely to do with how much care he takes. So Ben will be the next first round match to finish over Greg Hill of Australia.
I'm going to watch the peg out this time. With Robert's match, I was forgetting to watch, looking at something else. And, by the way, he's won. So let's concentrate now.
Right.
Ben just has to concentrate. Make sure you should never miss a peg out at this length. Sometimes you think, this
Crazy
is short.
things happen.
Okay. So Brian tells me that.
Bam. Good peg out.
Yeah, there we go.
And Ben Rothman has won the round of 32 against Greg Hill of Australia. And we'll move on to the round of 16 tomorrow with the rest of us.
Robert Fulford.
Yes, so the double banked game. So he will have defending world champion, who we heard from a bit earlier, Robert Fulford. I believe, and again, don't quote me just yet, but I believe all the matches tomorrow will be best of fives.
We hope so. We think it was, it's generally thought wise that the management decided, originally the plan was to have this round best of five, but given the conditions, some of the length of the block games, I think it was a good decision to move that down to best of three. But yeah, I think it should be best of five and it should be single bank, not double bank. Here's the draw. We're looking at the draw again.
Right. So this is
Ben Rothman's name yet to go forward.
Yeah, we got to get it. We got to refresh. He hasn't come in to give his results yet, but we now can plug Ben Rothman's name right above Robert Fulford's down at the bottom of the page.
There you are. Robert's the second seed. That's why he's at the bottom of the list.
And then we have we got the update that Alain Giraud is one game up against Jenny Clark, and I'm not sure. I think Jenny shot at her partner ball at the peg, hit the peg and bounced off, and now both of her balls are within a foot or two of the peg.
Oops.
With Alain having a rush right in the middle of the court for hoop four. So, potentially, if Alain can keep this turn together, he will earn the right to play Logan McCorkindale in the second round.
Right, I'm standing up.
So then we also...
Don't talk when you're standing up, right.
Yep. So then we also have over on lawn 3, game 3 between Jose Riva and Marcus Evans.
Marcus is on the lawn. Looks like he's got some sort of break. So Riva had first break. Looks like Marcus is coming up on a 4-ball break to hoop number 6.
And the winner of that match, whoever takes this game, will have the privilege of playing Mr. Reg Bamford, 5-time AC World Champion.
Indeed.
And 2-time GC World Champion.
Yes. I think you're careful earlier to say that Robert Fulford is probably the best AC player of all time. But if we're saying the best croquet player, do you give that to Reg because he's the only man to date to have won World Championships at both codes, 5 AC, 2 GC?
I think so. I think, so as a younger player, and I was saying this on the commentary a couple of days ago, I never got to witness Reg during the height of his powers, where he was just, slaughtering everybody in sight year after year at the World Championships.
Sextuple.
Right.
Yeah.
Taking down world titles and obviously I never got to watch Fulford at his height either in the 90s and everything because I wasn't born yet. But for me, I think that given enough time, I would be tempted to put Robert Fletcher up there with him. Just some of the things I've seen him do with a mallet are almost inhuman.
He's still young, isn't he? So,
he is.
He was 20 when he won in 2013.
Right.
So presumably he's 32 now.
Right.
Roughly,
So,
33.
and I know that Fulford, when he was winning most of his in the 90s, he was in his 30s, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And then
we were discussing this the other day.
Reg probably won most of his titles in his.
He's 56. I think he was born in either 68 or 69. Anyway.
So point is that right now I would say the title of greatest of all time just overall probably goes to Reg, but I'm reserving definite judgment until a few years down the line when I see what Fletcher does.
Yeah, I mean, Fletcher's got potential. Yeah, absolutely. Though, I mean, Chris was saying it's so wide open this year. I think there's so many. We're saying anybody in the last 16 will be thinking they got a chance.
Yes. So we've reached the point where, one might say the wheat and the chaff have been separated or separating.
Right, okay,
and it's not, and that's not to say that the people who have not won their first rounds are not completely capable of going the distance. It's just they were not in their form in the moment that they needed it. And so, but players left in the round of 16, myself included, all have our hopes set on going a little bit deeper than that. But, you know, it's anyone's game on anyone's day. It just depends on which version of you shows up.
Yeah.
So Jane Bahariel asks, do you know which players will be streamed? That I do not know. So the management...
We do not know. It's not up to us.
It's
up
not.
to the
So
management.
The management will
Pushes us,
decide
it
the
should
court
be.
assignments, but we will... Whoever's on court 6 will be streamed.
Absolutely.
So...
Maybe we should organise a vote. Do you think, which match do you want on Lawn 6? Send it out there. Send your votes in.
That would be fun. Jeff wouldn't appreciate it, but
It's manager's nightmare.
Yeah, while we have a
I'm
moment-
not serious, Jeff. Sorry.
yeah, while we have a moment here in the afternoon, we should talk about our sponsors for the event. Major support for this event has been provided by the W.P. Carey Foundation. One of the members of the Carey family was here the other day and during the draw, and for those who had tuned in, heard that their foundation will be providing a custom-made mallet with an engraving of for this tournament on it and presented to the winner of the event.
That's an excellent prize.
Yes, and then
Because if you've just won the World Championship, clearly you need to change your mind.
you need more stuff. And then also special thanks to the Palm Beach Sports Commission for all of the support that they've given the NCC and Croquet in general here in West Palm Beach. And then the sponsors for this event are also Oakley Woods Croquet, who sponsors not just this, but most, if not all, of our events, major events here in the United States. White Tie Croquet from Vicky Johnston, PFC Hoopmaker Mallets from Australia, and then Invictus Croquet from the Fletcher brothers in Australia as well. Robert and Malcolm Fletcher. And Greg is also a Fletcher brother and uses Invictus, but I don't think he's directly involved with Invictus. But two of the Fletchers are here competing. Robert just finished his triple on Lawn 7 and has moved on against David Fuller.
So that's Fletcher versus Fletcher, isn't
That's
it?
Fletcher versus Fletcher. So there will be one less Fletcher in the event before the next
If
day
the
is
management
done.
is listening, don't really want to commentate on Fletcher v. Fletcher. Fletcher does this. No, sorry, not that Fletcher, that Fletcher.
Yeah.
So, yes. But anyway, we shall see. Now, update from Lawn 3. Marcus has not run hoop 2 back cleanly. He's on his knees. He hasn't called the referee yet because he's not even sure he can have a shot. This looks difficult. He's run it by, 6
Would we have
inches?
any ability for the cameraman on court 6 to pan over? Armando's not here. So I have
probably
no
not
way to
then.
communicate. So
If Ben Rothman's downstairs, we'd love to invite you up for an interview and indeed to comment, though I guess there won't be any main event action on court 6 today. It's just one match a day from here on in.
Yep.
So we may get a consolation game on there. I don't know. Might be worth
Probably not.
You don't think so?
Not this stage of the day. I don't think it's already 2:30. And I think that they're going to be putting the consolation games and all that other stuff on some of the outlying lawns.
Okay.
Most of them are already on court. What else have I forgotten? Oh yes. So support for the USCA YouTube channel, as we said earlier in the stream, has been provided by Chris and Gail Barley. Chris is a participant of this event as well and is currently in the plate somewhere out there in this vast arena that we have. And then Oakley Woods Croquet, who you heard about just a second ago. Again, a big sponsor not only of our events, but of the USCA YouTube channel and the USCA in general. And then Chris and Karen Weiss, 2 members from the Sarasota County Croquet Club, very nice people and very supportive of croquet, not just here in AC, but across all of the United States and the wider world. And then this wonderful production has been brought to you by I Do Live Streaming. Their logo you can see down there in the bottom right. Armando's not here at the moment, our technical genius, but they're the ones who have been operating the cameras and setting up the live stream and are allowing us to come to you guys through these wonderful streams we've been doing. So hopefully we will see more of them in the near future for other major events. And then we would like to thank the CFA, who own the NCC here, headed by David McCoy, for generously donating the lawns for the use of the World Championship. And then we would also finally like to thank Sandy James Fine Food and Events for catering everything here at the NCC and taking good care of us. And it appears that we may have... We have an interview with Andrew Johnston of Ireland, who has just won against Ian Lyne. So that was one of the matches that we had earlier that we unfortunately were not able to bring to you live. So, Andrew Johnston, we're going to scoot over.
You scoot there.
Hold up. So, Have a seat, Andrew. How are you doing?
Good, thanks.
All right. We can just get the camera pointed on us. There we go. Why don't you scoot over just a little bit more so that the folks back at home can see you. All right. So I saw a little bit of your match earlier today because I was on the adjacent court. You were over on court 11, I believe.
Yep.
And against Ian Lyons. And what was the final result of that match just now? I'm sorry, I don't know it right.
That's all right. It was 2-0. 26-9, 26 TP something. It was tough enough. Bit of interaction in both games, but got over the line, which is good. Step in the right direction.
All right. So beating Ian Lyons now, I'm going to pull up my bracket here, just so that I don't tell anyone anything wrong, has earned you a match against Mr. Mark Avery from England. Do you have a lot of experience playing against Mark?
I don't think Mark and I have ever played.
Really?
Yeah. Which is weird for
I was going to say, you're fairly closely located.
Yeah. Usually in the top events we would come across that, but he was playing really nicely out there.
I saw the results were 26 TP 0, 26 TP 0, and every time I looked over, he happened to always be on the lawn.
Yeah, he was cruising. He was cruising.
Mark Avery was a quarterfinalist at this event 2 years ago, losing to Matthew at Hurlingham. And as stated the other night at the draw, he was a silver medalist in the first event. What is the furthest you've made it in this event before?
So I have 2 bronze medals.
You have 2 bronze medals?
2 semis, yeah.
All right, one more than me. And you were the only player here representing Ireland.
No, it's 3 of us. 3 of us, Sandy.
Oh, that's right, Sandy
Greg.
Why did I think that?
Yeah, and Russell,
so
and Russell Harris.
you're the only one in this knockout with the flag, so I just did a quick scan down. So I do apologize to the other Irishmen here. I even introduced myself to Sandy Greg earlier in the week. But yes, the only Irishman in the main knockout.
Yeah.
I believe last year, I'm trying to remember.
Last Worlds.
Matthew
Matthew got me.
It was Matthew.
Yeah. And he was playing. Well, we all know he was playing some super stuff.
He was playing amazing croquet.
He made me rethink how I got to go about this game. I've since I had that second semi-final.
So can you tell us a little bit about what you rethought about the game?
It was his accuracy was just out of this world. Like, I mean, and he nearly kept up for the whole event, but there wasn't a single lift that was missed. And I only missed 2 or 3, but I made me go, okay, you've got to be at least giving yourself a fighting chance in every single lift. There's no room for a doozy and letting it slide. So, I changed a few grip things around. I have a habit of having to do a lot of battling to fight through some games. So I changed a few things around I don't cast anymore. I have 1 single cast. I was going to have to save some energy if I wanted to go.
A couple less swings per shot might be helpful. What block were you in?
D.
So a quick look at block D. And you went almost undefeated, only losing a game to Mr. Hill, who just was defeated by Ben Rothman. Had a bit of a struggling match. But so clearly whatever you've been changing around has been extremely helpful in most of your games.
There's a lot more to go.
Yeah.
It's going to need to improve. It's going to need to step up, but it's getting better every day.
The conditions here are a little different than Hurlingham was 2 years ago. Can you talk to us a little bit about what you've experienced so far and your thoughts on the conditions of the lawns?
A lot of pain and torture. I said it in the quick interview after the Logan game. I don't know whether it's I think probably a combination of all 3. I don't think it's the speed of the lawns they're quick.
They are.
The balls they're super balls, like they're great, but there's definitely a little bit of learning on them. I don't and then the hoops are solid as hell.
They are. This is the first event that I've been here at the NCC where they've used the quadway hoops. And I think there's been some resistance about getting quad. They've been using the super hoops for many years, which traditional wisdom was that those are the best for the soft, sandy ground.
Super.
But these quadways have held up wonderfully well. They maybe take a little bit more day-by-day maintenance to keep nice.
Yeah.
But as long as they're, for AC especially, where you're not really hitting the hoops super hard all the time, they're very challenging.
Yeah, they sure are. And I think maybe the combination of the 3 things then makes it a little tougher, but isn't this what we all want?
This is what we all want.
This is what we're supposed to be getting, and it's certainly sorting us all out.
So, as you go forward in the knockout, right? Obviously, you play Mark Avery, and then Lord knows what happens after that. Is there a particular aspect of your game that you're really thinking about focusing on, or that you think, like you said, some things need to improve? You know, what is the particular part of your game that you really want to see? If you could come out and have a great day, what would be the one part of your game that needs to to go across the line there?
My game is fine. It's just that my head just needs to stay steady and be consistent. This game is we can all hit a ball. We can all play all the shots. It's your head drifting in and out for just ever so small.
Fraction of a second.
Ever so small.
I've been a victim of it.
And suddenly you've got a 4-yard pioneer pass where it's supposed to be, and suddenly the peely isn't where it's supposed to be, and suddenly you're not peeling in TPO, and suddenly you're in trouble.
And the opponent has one more shot they shouldn't have gotten. Yeah. And now I watched you a little bit during block play, and I just have to remark that you probably have the most amazing pass roll I've ever seen in my life. It was captured on camera at some point that you pass rolled from corner 2. The front ball did not even make it past the peg, and your back ball made it to within a foot of the boundary line by the opponent balls at max distance on the far boundary. So, I noticed that you do something interesting. You hold both your hands together towards the bottom. Can you walk us through how you came to that and how you feel that is that what gives you that amazing ratio? Because personally, I've struggled with pass rolls.
Yeah, I wasn't very pleased with that shot.
It looks good.
It's supposed to catch. It's supposed to catch hoop too.
Yeah.
But it only does that once every 2 or 3. In fairness, it is a hard to count to catch. I find it look. There's people who are going to say that's ridiculously aggressive and it's a crazy shot. I find it the best way of getting going. If I hit that corner 2 ball and they've missed those 2 down by the boundary, I'm feeling good about going around. Like it's not.
You trust your ratio on that.
Yeah, and it is. Yeah, there is 2 hands. I don't know. People have asked me to show them before. Definitely, my mallet is probably a fraction heavier than others. I have ordered a new Invictus one.
Oh,
sponsors.
Invictus Croquet, sponsor of this.
And it will be a little bit lighter, so it'll be interesting to see if I still have that tool. But there is, I check. I am very close to the head.
Yeah.
I have to check every time that I'm not touching it. And then it is. Now it is like as Reg used words yesterday when he was asking about it. Like, geez, that's a wrist breaker. Yeah, it is. Like it absolutely pounds the hell out of my wrists. But it gives you a huge buzz when you can use that.
And on fast lawns like this, it's a little bit easier.
Back home and shout out to Carrick Mines and Newcastle if they're there.
We'll be seeing you in a couple of weeks for the GC.
Yes, in November. But jeepers, doing that shot on a wet, soggy Irish land is a different piece. So this is a piece of cake.
All right. Well, Andrew, thank you for joining us. So, if anyone really quickly has Chris, if anyone has any questions for Mr. Johnston, real quick before we let him go, but Chris Patmore here. 2006, Avery beat Johnston 2-0. Great Britain versus Ireland.
I see. This is my great.
That's an Englishman we got over here, just bringing up old stuff that didn't need to be said. Chris
can go get stuffed.
So,
Chris has been over to the Irish Open several times. He's been. Hopefully, comes back soon. Come back soon, Chris. We haven't seen you in a while. That is my other superpower in this game. I will forget the game as soon as I go home. I have no idea.
That's probably for the best.
I have no idea what happened.
That's probably, I'm the type that I sit there and I stew in it and I'll be laying awake and I'll be like, why did I do that? And why did he then did this? It's probably for the best that you just.
I play good or bad, I've forgotten about it in 2 hours.
Yeah. So, well, thank you so much for taking a few minutes to sit down with us and talking to us.
Good.
But I think we'll be wrapping up. Well, Robert Fletcher's going to come up for an interview. All right, so we're going to have a quick interview with Mr. Fletcher, who just finished his match. But thank you so much, Andrew, and good luck in the next round.
Thank you.
All right, stay with us, folks. Robert Fletcher's coming up for a quick interview. And we've had some questions about maybe turning the Court 6 camera around to catch the end of the... But we're going to wait on that. We may not be able to do so just with the time left. But if we can, we will. If not... then we're going to finish up with this interview here with Mr. Fletcher. But, all right, he's on his way. Here he is. How's it going, Robert?
Yeah, good, Tom.
Good to see you. I'm doing good. I'm up here in the air conditioning. Congratulations on your win.
Thank you.
Over Mr. Foley. Yeah, just get a little closer to the microphone there. And while we're talking, if anybody does have a question for Mr. Fletcher that if they want to put in the chat, I'll try to read it and maybe we can get that out there. But I saw a little bit. We were obviously focusing on this long, but I could see a little bit at times of your match there. Game 1 seemed very interesting. Didn't see much of it, but was there a 3-ball ending there in game one, or am I mistaken?
Yeah, there was. Yeah, David ended up pegging me off. I was 4 back and peg, and he had a ball on 6 and 4 back, and he'd hit with the hoop 6 ball. Went round, pegged me off, and I managed to. I had a lift and hit something, made 2 hoops, so got to rover basically, and missed after penult. He then paired up, and I hit a 25-yarder and finished off. So it was relatively, I suppose, clean after that.
Well, I saw that amazing roll shot up from, I think, near hoop 2 to get to 4 back. Was that the winning turn there to get that started?
Yeah, so that was after the lift.
Yeah, what a shot that was.
Yeah, thank you.
So, but second game seemed to be a lot cleaner. Not nearly as much interaction. A very clean on-time triple.
Yeah,
there from you.
Yeah. I mean, I only had 1 error for the match anyway. David just hit a lot in game 1, and was doing quite a bit with it. And then I think he just had the 1 error in game 1 anyway, which was at hoop 1. So he had the 2. He had the breakdown at 6. So, I mean, yeah, there was just a lot of hitting that created the interaction, I suppose. Yeah,
it's nice when both players are hitting well and we get some exciting outcomes in games. Obviously, you want to be hitting more than your opponent.
Yeah, exactly. There's some bias there. You know, I'm never, I'm never upset if my opponent's not hitting.
That's right.
And I'm sure my opponents think the same of me.
Well, I think there's almost an effect where, I think it can go one of 2 ways. Having played you myself and having listened to a lot of other people played you, it's like either you're going to have your best hitting game ever against Robert, or you're going to have your worst, because it's like the pressure of playing world number 1. I think affects certain people differently. It's normally not like, I'm going to play an okay game.
Yeah, so. Yeah. I think so. There's definitely an element to that. Yeah, for sure.
And you've now that you've won the first match, you and your brother Greg get to face off in the second match. So all Fletcher round of 16. Any thoughts on that? You've obviously played Greg a lot. I think I saw a video recently of a tournament you two played with some TPOs back in Australia recently.
Yeah, we actually played in the final of the Calandra Classic back in June. And someone said, I think they were keeping track of it a bit better than I was, but I think that was our first final that we'd ever played before.
Interesting, because I've seen you have some GC finals with Malcolm.
Yeah, I've had a lot of finals with Malcolm. Yeah, in AC and
I mean,
GC.
Greg doesn't really live full time in Australia anymore, so I guess you would have more exposure.
No, but I've had a lot of semi-finals against Greg, like a lot of semi-finals, a lot of quarterfinals. But apparently we hadn't had a final till then.
So is there a different sort of game plan when you're playing one of your brothers versus anyone else? Because like I said sort of before, it's like, I think for a lot of people there's almost an intimidation factor, but I doubt your brothers would feel the same way. And they're much more sort of exposed to you through growing up, and they know your style and they know.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think all those things are true. I just don't put much stock in, I think psychology in general, for my opponent. Like, I don't hope that they're going to, have a day where, the occasion gets to them or something like that. Yeah. I'm just very much, playing the same way I always do. So on the flip side, when I do play one of my brothers, it doesn't change anything. That doesn't change my approach.
So, and what do you think about the conditions of the courts so far? They're very different from how they were 2 years ago in Hurlingham in England. And how have you found them to be so far?
I've found them to be great. I love this venue. They've got a lot of pace on them at the moment, and they're only going to get quicker and quicker. I always think for World Championships that I've played here anyway, and major championships in general, they do a really good job with the hoops too. They're always tougher than I think people are anticipating, except maybe me.
Never caught unawares.
Well, I've played here every time I have played here, because they get the pace of the lawns up. There are a lot more gentle hoop strokes just by nature of the fact that there's less friction for the ball to pick up. So basically the hoops last longer for starters, and the grounds crew here are fantastic. So they're always moving them. So yeah, I mean they've been great, and I think it's just the high standard that they have here in general.
And speaking of high standard, we've been using this is the first World Championship where we've used exclusively Invictus balls of your own design.
Yeah.
And I really love them. I've heard really great things throughout the event so far. People are getting used to, the more pull and different things like that. And so it's adding a little bit, I think, to some people's, mine, because I'm not putting balls in good position to peel at the moment. So, I'm relying on a little draw. But so far, I think the general review has been really positive. And so I just wanted to take a quick shout out Invictus Croquet and thank you for giving us a new high quality ball for our high level events. I hope to see more of them used at Worlds in the future. But no, it's just been a wonderful event so far, and I wish you luck in the next round. And I hope that we're on the same side of the bracket, so maybe we'll meet on stage later. Fingers crossed. But I got to get through one of our mutual friends and nemesis, Matthew, first.
I've got Matthew next.
I do have Matthew. So
should be
one way or the
match.
other. But all right, if there's any last questions for Robert here in the chat, I don't see any right offhand. But so I think we're going to shut down for the day, guys. It looks like we don't have any more matches on in the main knockout on this lawn. And most of the other matches are finishing up for the day. We will be back to you tomorrow with the round of 16. Best of fives, I believe, is still the plan for the round of 16 matches, we hope. And we'll see you tomorrow with more high-level croquet. This is world number 1, Robert Fletcher, with me, signing out now. Thank you, Robert.
Thanks, Tom.